This video will help you guys fill out your homework. Please feel free to pause it if you need to. All the answers will come up in yellow. So here we go. This is for lab safety. You guys need to remember that while you're working in the science laboratory, you will have certain important responsibilities that you do not apply to other classrooms. You will be working with materials and apparatuses which, if handled carelessly or improperly, have the potential to cause injury or discomfort to someone else as well as yourself. A science laboratory can be a safe place in which to work if you, the student, are foresighted, alert, and cautious. Violated any of these following regulations will result in you being removed from the lab. The following practices will be followed. First of all, an instructor must be present during the performance of all laboratory work. It's important that you report any accident to the teacher immediately, no matter how minor. You need to include reporting burns, scratches, cuts, or liquids on skin. If you spill anything or on your clothes, just let me know what's going on. Prepare for each laboratory activity by reading all the directions before coming to class. You need to follow all of these directions implicitly and intelligently. Make note of any modification in procedure given by me, the instructor. Any science project or individually planned experiment must be approved by the teacher, and use only those materials and equipment authorized by me, the instructor. You need to inform me immediately of any equipment that's not working properly, and you also need to inform me if you spill or break something, okay? It's not that big of a deal if it's an accident, but you do not need to clean up anything until you're given permission to do so, because guys, you do not know what you just spilled. It's important that you wear appropriate eye protection as directed by the instructor whenever you are working in the lab. Safety goggles must be worn during activities that involve corrosive chemicals, heating of liquids, and other activities that may injure the eyes. Essentially, you need to wear goggles unless I tell you otherwise. Never taste anything or touch chemicals with your hands unless you're specifically instructed to do so. Eating or drinking in the lab or from laboratory equipment is not permitted. When heating materials in a test tube, do not look into the tube or point it in the direction of any other person during the process. Never pour reagents back into the bottles or exchange the lids of containers. Wash your hands as necessary and wash thoroughly at the conclusion of the lab period. And if you treat a chemical spill, you need to wash the affected area immediately with plenty of running water. If the eyes are involved, you need to use the eye wash station without interruption for 15 minutes, and make sure that as you're doing this, you're telling me and letting me know what's going on. It's really important that you report the incident to your instructor immediately. You need to know the location of the emergency shower, eye wash, and face wash station, fire blanket, fire extinguisher, fire alarm box, and exits. You need to know the proper fire and earthquake drill procedures, and you need to roll long sleeves above the wrist. Long, hanging necklaces, bulky jewelry, and excessive and bulking clothing should not be worn in the laboratory. You need to confine long hair during a lab activity, and you need to wear shoes that cover the toes rather than sandals in the lab. You need to use a Bunsen burner with extreme caution. Keep your head and clothing away from the flame and turn it off when not in use. You need to use a fire blanket to stop, drop, and roll to extinguish any flame on a person. Dispose of laboratory waste as instructed by the teacher. Use separate designated containers. This is not the waste basket for the following: matches, litmus paper, wooden splints, toothpicks, and so on. Broken and waste glass, rags, paper towels, or other absorbent materials used in the cleanup of flammable solids or liquids. Remember, these are all things that do not go in the trash can but get thrown away someplace else. Hazardous or toxic liquids and solids. Students are not permitted in the lab, storage rooms, or teacher workrooms without the approval of me, the teacher. Random broken glassware, including thermometers, to the instructor immediately. I'm sorry, it says report broken glassware, including thermometers, to the instructor immediately. Always clean the lab area before leaving. And last but not least, be sure that all glassware is clean before use. Clean glassware thoroughly, clean it thoroughly after use. Residue may cause errors in the new experiments or cause a violent reaction or explosion. The bottom line, guys, is we need to be using common sense when in the lab, and as long as you do that, that is fine.